This is Rachel Ruth Tate, the Astrology Roadshow, and the astrology of January 3rd. So today is an interesting day. It's the first day with Venus in Pisces. Venus being our love, our joy, our pleasure, our personal good, what feels and seems awesome to each of us individually. And Venus is in her best sign now. It doesn't mean, for some of you guys out there, that everything's going to be great and all hunky-dory. Depending on what you have going on in your Pisces sector of your chart, it might be rough, right? If you're somebody who has Saturn in Pisces, right? Some of our millennials experiencing their Saturn returns, it could highlight a form of grief or difficulty. Or if you have Mars in Pisces, it could bring about some clash or some sort of separation that's actually fated. Because Venus is here to do the best, to do what is actually good and right and beautiful for us individually and for us collectively. And sometimes it doesn't seem that way in process. But occasionally we lose things, or things change or fall apart so that they can fall together in a more perfect way. Now that said, we did have one of our roughest aspects of the year overnight around 1:20 a.m. Central Time, and that is Mars retrograde in Leo opposite to Pluto in Aquarius. Mars opposite Pluto is rough stuff. It is kinetic Mars. It is a negation, right? Mars says no. Mars opposite Pluto faces down fear. Mars is in Leo, the individual. Pluto is in Aquarius, the collective. So there's some sort of difficulty or some sort of fear, and I actually didn't even notice this, just as an example, tying this all together. Yesterday evening, just after Venus ingressed into Pisces, I posted a story about my former apprehension, Mars retrograde, opposite Pluto, with sharing my gifts of astrology, my tarot reading, crystal reading. I made up crystal reading, y'all. Nobody taught me this. It was just something that I found I had a facility with, and they spoke to me. And you know, I ended up doing this a lot in Los Angeles. I mean, I actually worked for Kim Kardashian. Like, she did her Crystal Gardenia launch, and her mom hired me to do crystal readings there. Like, this is how into crystals I am and have been. But growing up in Texas, very conservative, I was so afraid to come out as somebody who did these things, enjoyed these things, felt these things, sensed these things, because I don't want to be called crazy. But I've found, and this is what my stories on Instagram said, follow me at Rachel Ruth Tate on Instagram if you want, that when we are living in our truth, when we are expressing our truth with poise, with confidence, with ease, when we are being our love, when we are expressing our love, others become comfortable. Others understand. Love is felt, love is sensed, love is seen, love is true. And when we're not trying to be, we are. Just simply, period, point blank. When we are not trying to be, we are. And in the post, I was talking about how that fear held me back, of not being taken seriously, of losing respect, right? But in sharing the gifts that I have, that were input into me, that were infolded as they've unfolded, I feel more joyful, more loving, more expressive. And we are all that way, right? So this Mars opposite Pluto with Venus in Pisces, no matter what gifts you've been given, and I've been given sort of Venus and Pisces gifts. I don't have Venus there, but I do have the moon and Mars there, and my own Venus is ruled by Mars, so definitely some Piscean gifts here. That it becomes, there's more wholeness, right? Because we can love what we love or spend our whole life railing against what we love. And to me, that's the essence of Venus ingressing into Pisces and Mars retrograde opposite Pluto. So see how that plays out in your own life. And then besides that, the moon is going to, it entered Pisces. So the moon entered Pisces around 9:20 a.m. Central Time, and it's conjoining Venus, and those are the only major aspects the moon is making. So this story is going to become evident for you. The moon is the reflection, the moon is the mirror, the moon is the mouthpiece. It's the body, the embodiment. And so me even kind of having this awareness of the story I unconsciously told yesterday with Venus's ingress and the Mars-Pluto opposition is the meaning of the moon conjoining Venus. You are going to get an idea of your Venus and Pisces story, because newsflash, we've got a month of Venus in Pisces, then it heads into Aries, then it does a retrograde and comes back into Pisces for a whole other month. 2 of our 12 months this year are Venus in Pisces. That's her best place. Like, let's be real. We like some Venus in Pisces. Everybody likes it. It's cathartic. It's magical. It is connective. It is fluid. It's flowing, not forcing, right? It is the trueness of the love that you have and have to give. It is unity. It is compassion, etc., etc. But she's going to retrograde here. So there's something that we're working on. There's something that we're healing. Venus retrograde in Pisces to me is a big healing energy. And so for me personally, just to use another example from today, I was speaking to my husband about both of our past traumas and how they sometimes pop up in our present day conversations, and how sometimes we are reacting not to each other, but to many, many versions of ourselves and others in the past, and even without consciousness. And the only way to heal this is to become aware of it and to choose a more compassionate, gentle, and healing path, no matter the circumstances. Love is patient, love is kind. We've all heard those words, but patience and kindness are not always easy. Not always easy. It is easier to react. It is easier to explode. It's easier to not have intention. But this Venus in Pisces, this Mars opposite Pluto, and for all y'all out there, I'm going on for 6.5 minutes because today is a big ass day. This Mars-Pluto opposition is hard, and it hurts, and it takes up, it pulls up. Pluto is rebirth, but it's also birth and death and transformation. So it can dig up those buried skeletons. And if we didn't bury our traumas, our past, our difficulties with honor, with grace, with understanding, with intention, they will come back as zombies. And Mars, Pluto, they will come back. They're coming for us. But the great news is the work that's coming for us, especially because, right, Pluto's in Aquarius, Saturn, the ruler of Aquarius, is also in Pisces. The great thing about that is it's coming for us to free us. Venus in Pisces is about freedom. And I hope you find yourself deep in that story and able to, with intention, with awareness, with patience, with grace, with love, free yourself and free others, right? As Ram Dass said, we are all just walking each other